what? Why is this now moving over here? I'm looking at YouTube. It's lagging like a motherfucker. I've been in front of this thing for like 5 minutes. That's funny. Oh, I got to move y'all over here. Hold on. I've got you on my double screen over here. Give me a minute. Oh, what is up, Panther Nation, Pantherologists? Welcome to tonight's live stream. Going to give you, I can't believe that, we are coming off this win. Amazing win, honestly. An unexpected win, honestly. I don't know how many of y'all thought we were going to win this game, but honestly, I didn't. But we'll say this. Father Time is showing up on to Tom Brady right now. Father Time is showing up to Tom Brady right now. So, in my opinion, I think Father Time is definitely doing it, and he basically gave up his family to come play football, which is very interesting to me. Everybody that's getting in here, make sure you pound that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, feel free to share this live stream. Also, go check out betusa.com. That is today's sponsor of Pantherology and myself. Go check them out. Link is down in the description. Also, you get 125% sign-up bonus when you sign up on betusa.com. Again, that is betusa.com. Link is down in the description. Use promo code Pantherology. Get a free $25 bet. And yeah, so let's just go ahead and dive right into this game, man. I got some observations based off this game. Um, you know, I mean, when the news broke about us trading away our star running back, Christian McCaffrey, to the San Francisco 49ers for a bunch of draft picks, right? And we were the bottom of the line offense in this league, laughing stock of the league. And we just didn't have that. It didn't look like we have the best preparation for this game, getting ready for these Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And I mean, you know, the sports books of the world had the Panthers at a 9.5 points to up to 13.5 point underdogs after the McCaffrey trade. So it went from 9.5 points with McCaffrey and then 13.5 once we traded him. So Carolina flipped that switch though, and they dominated the Buccaneers in all facets of this game. And we held the GOAT Tom Brady out of the end zone to just 3 points, and that's a dominating performance right there. Now on the other side of the ball, we actually saw the Panthers put together some offensive display of the season. Just after we removed our best player on offense, in my opinion. And then PJ Walker put together his best performance in his NFL career. He finished 16 for 22, 177 passing yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a passer rating of 126.5. That's pretty damn good. That's pretty damn good. So, and we also saw Panthers establish the run game with both Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard back there. Now, although Chuba Hubbard was named the starter, and Deontay Foreman, obviously the backup, but they both did damage. 173 yards rushing on the day, which was amazing. And I've said it before, and I've said it again. We need to run the damn ball. We need to, because of the situation that we're in. You play dominant defense, you run the ball, you take away those mistakes. And that's what you do. And that's what we did on Sunday. Right? Yeah, I'm a Underground West. I'm definitely going to talk about I definitely will be talking about the offensive line. But this defense performed well, as we've seen. We know what our defense is. Considering at points in the game, the Panthers were missing all 3 starters at cornerback. We witnessed some big plays from Keith Taylor, Miles Hartsfield, and then defensive tackle Derek Brown continued to show his dominance and why he was picked 7th overall, in the first round a couple years ago. And, Al Holcomb's unit literally stuffed Tom Brady throughout this game. He had nothing for us. And so my first observations from this game, my thoughts overall just basically is that Carolina has to do one thing right now, and it's actually something they should not do. And they shouldn't trade Brian Burns. And I know that it's like, why are you taking this away from this game? But, we we found out on Sunday morning that, Scott Fitterer has had talks of people contacting us for Brian Burns, and we rejected the deal. Now, the offer did include, from what I know of, 2 first-round picks. And, Scott Fitterer did say he was going to take an astronomical amount or an astronomical trade, whichever one you want to call it, to trade Brian Burns. And Burns is a premier candidate, obviously, to be extended in this offseason. And it's definitely going to come into his own. And the Panthers losing Hassan Reddick in free agency last year, or this offseason, who was also a premier pass rusher. But through the 7 weeks, the Panthers have 10 sacks. Now, obviously, Brian Burns accounts for half of those sacks, and he added another on Sunday, bringing down Tom Brady. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I had a sneeze there. But despite trading Chris McCaffrey on Thursday and the talk of a fire sale, I think those talks need to kind of go away. If we can win football games, let's continue to win football games. All right. Right. If I'm not mistaken right now, we're second in this division right now. And if we beat, or is it if we beat Atlanta on Thursday? Either we're second in this division right now, or if we beat Atlanta on Thursday, because I'm pretty sure we have the Thursday night game. Do we not? Oh no, we have a 1:00 game. No, yeah. Okay. When is our Thursday game? Oh, okay. So we're at. Okay, my bad. All right, I had that wrong. That's my fault. But if I'm not mistaken, though, right now in this division, we're second. I want to double check on that. No, we're third. Okay, but if we get the win on Sunday, could possibly be second in this division. So if we beat Atlanta this Sunday, we could be second in this division. So playoff chances are still there. Especially if we look at Tampa Bay, who does Tampa Bay got to play next? They got to play the Ravens. All right. Atlanta, they've got to play us. So if we beat Atlanta and Tampa Bay loses, there's a possibility that we could either be first or second in this division, possibly first due to the fact that we beat Tampa Bay. Because we are 2-0 in this division right now. In the conference, we're 2-4. And yeah. So, you might as well just still try to win games if you can. I'd like to see it. Now, I know that. Okay, so the Bucs lose. Okay, they're playing Thursday. I couldn't tell the dates on it. I wasn't really looking at the dates. Yeah, we win Sunday. Then we'll be first. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I know that everybody wants to get a first round quarterback and everything else, and we will. We still will get a first round quarterback. You're still going to be able to get guys late. All right. If we get a 6th or 7th pick, or, depending if how this transpires, but there's still going to be that chance that we're going to get, there's about 5 to 8 good quarterbacks in this draft. So it's not like you're not going to be able to find somebody in there. So I want everybody to calm down about that. I don't like fire sales. I don't like tanking. I don't like it. I don't think it's worth your franchise to do so. And I don't like it. I think that the best way we got to go about it is that we're under reconstruction. We are restructuring this team to be successful. All right. I don't like tanking or fire sales. And if you do, then you're not I hate to say it, but I don't think then you don't know football. And you don't know how organization works. You don't know how the NFL works. And I hate to be that guy calling you out, but that's just the way it is. But despite trade, but we must not trade Brian Burns away. And even despite trading Christian McCaffrey on Thursday, we had talks about fire sale. But for this organization, and it's been reported that Burns, along with J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, were players that could be in trade talks. But Panthers see these guys as the building of the future, and they should. And rejecting a trade offer for Brian Burns, including a pair of first-round draft picks, just underlines how much this team really wants him and values this guy, man. And after making his first Pro Bowl in 2021, it seems that, he's taken a step in the right direction this offseason. Burns significantly improved his run defense, even going as far as tightly covering Cooper Kupp back in week 6, leading to a Dante Jackson pick 6. And then informed pass rusher is finally on track to get the elusive 10 sacks that had eluded him in his career so far. And if Burns can push toward 15 sacks, he's in line for a big payday. So don't trade Brian Burns. Ben McAdoo, this is the next thought. I will say this. This is the best game as offensive coordinator that Ben McAdoo has ever called. And I have been very critical of this guy. Not saying he's going to turn things around or this is the start of something new in this offense or a spur of the moment thing. Like I'm not going to continue. I'm not going to put all my chips in one bag, all in. I'm not all in on Ben McAdoo. I'm calling right now. I'm just saying, hit me, but I'm not, all in. But I will say this is the best game he's ever called. Things hit rock bottom back in week 6 at the Los Angeles Rams. We didn't leave. There was no hope for the future after, I thought there was no hope for the future after we traded away Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson. Falling from those trades though, I didn't even expect us to be, I didn't expect us to be Tampa Bay. And they have Tampa Bay's got a stout defense. But McAdoo called his best game as Panthers offensive coordinator, to their most complete performance on the offensive side of the ball this season. We accumulated over 343 total yards with no turnovers. And this has represented something we haven't witnessed from the Panthers prior to week 7. And McAdoo and his staff opened up the playbook a little bit more for PJ Walker to, kind of have more of that flow. Probably made him feel more comfortable after the shamble performance that we had against Los Angeles, and trusting the quarterback to throw the deep ball. And he had some limited deep throws a week ago, but it was just a nice surprise to see some change there, especially on the offensive side. And the schemes that he was running for the run game with both Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard averaging more than 7 yards a carry. The Panthers definitely leaned on the fact that they were winning the battle in the trenches, which proved to be, I think, the biggest difference between the two sides. Now with Atlanta's defense, who they are very, I think they're very weak and we got them this week coming up. The Panthers and McAdoo, I'm hoping will put another solid offensive performance together. Nick's forever. I'll get to your question in a minute. I'm going to hold that up there. I will display your comments, guys, so feel free to comment. No worries. Appreciate all y'all. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, what the hell are you doing? Show your support. Subscribe. Like, subscribe, comment. That's all I ask. Now, I'm going to say it, and I know I've asked this question in the poll, but my poll that I put up there was, do you think that, or should PJ Walker start week 8? And I'm going to say he deserves to start. So if he doesn't get it, or he does, but from what I know of as of right now, Steve Wilkes, I'm pretty sure has announced him to be the starter. I'm pretty sure I saw an update on my phone about that. But here's another question I have for you. I'm going to ask this. I'm going to put it in the chat too. I'll put this question in the chat, but I'm also going to put it in there right now. Have the Carolina Panthers found the quarterback on found the best quarterback on their roster? That is my question to you guys. This question I have across the board. Feel free to get in the comment section about it. But have the Carolina Panthers found the best quarterback on their roster? Now, I know this might be a little bit early to say, but it's hard to argue his performance. The best performance we've seen of the quarterbacks so far between obviously Baker and then obviously we saw a little bit of Eason, but between Baker and PJ, it's not even close. I will say that. PJ Walker looks way better than Baker has already. All right. And it's hard to argue against this being the best performance from a Panthers quarterback since probably the homecoming of Cam Newton against the Washington Commanders in 2021. Now, after PJ Walker was severely dismantled in week 6 and he lost his first game as a starter in the NFL, it's hard to imagine that we've seen really much of him. Well, not much of him, but better of him, this time around. I mean, he's a veteran. He has shown during his NFL career that he is competent between the 20s, but obviously there has been some shakiness in the red zone, constant turnover opportunities being presented, So just trying to find that balance on this offense is what we need to do, right? So, however, on Sunday, this was by far Walker's best performance in the NFL. The most impressive thing to me, though, from this game was he was turnover free. This guy, came from Temple University. Didn't give the Tampa Bay Buccaneers any chance to even, turn over the ball. And he only had 6 incompleted passes, and 2 of those were drops, and 1 was a throwaway. So he was playing efficient football. And the man under center was Bozeman. Why he hasn't been playing center this whole time, I know besides a little bit of an injury, but why has he been playing over Pat Affline? Beats the hell out of me. I know Bozeman left a I know Bozeman did allow 1 sack. But other than that, that was it. Bozeman allowed 1 sack in this game. That was it. But that was the only bad thing Bozeman did, was allow that 1 sack. Brady Christensen still sucks. So we need we're going to have to get another left guard. Corbett's been okay. Icky's getting better. Moten's still Moten. So if we can fix the left guard and right guard during this offseason and hope maybe even in the draft, I would highly suggest that be one of our priorities as well. But overall, this offensive line has been a lot better than last year. I will say that. They've been way more solid than last year. So I can't say much more than that. But the man under center, PJ Walker, who was protected by this offensive line, they only gave up 1 sack, and that was Bozeman's fault, but still. But Walker deserves all the credit here, man. He threw a dime to Tommy Trimble and DJ Moore for those 2 touchdown passes. Both were just freaking darts, man. Beautiful. Beautiful pass. Now, there is talks that both Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield may be in that contention to start, obviously, in Week 8. But following Walker's performance on Sunday, he has certainly, I think, earned the starting spot for at least another game to see what he does. I will give him that. I don't think now the next thought I have is this. This should never have been a thought to any of us. And I'm a little bit of a I'm eating my crow a little bit. I did say that I wouldn't say that I did say that we are on fire sale, but I would never believed in tanking. And I did believe in reconstruction is the best way to go about it. And the reason why I keep saying reconstruction, if you haven't watched it, go watch it. Go on PMP. Shout out to those guys. They interviewed Steve Smith. He actually kind of explained what Carolina's doing right now the best way possible. But if we have a chance to win this division, if we can win more games this year, I don't see why we shouldn't even at least try. I'd rather win than sit here and tank and tank and tank and tank. All right. We traded guys away. We got draft capital, so we're okay. All right. Um, but anyways, I just don't think Carolina has any intention of tanking. So, we traded McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson in a 3-day span. Um, I think Carolina's being in the talks of tanking is a little bit over exaggerating, especially across all of media, social media. And with this team in need of a franchise quarterbacks for the likes of CJ Stroud and Bryce Young, who will be available in this draft. But you would be forgiven for thinking that this organization has secured that number one overall selection. Now, however, one look at the performance on Sunday, I think that showed that this team has no interest in tanking, obviously. As hard as they play for Steve Wilks, shutting down Tom Brady, despite the Panthers right now being 2-5, but the NFC South is not good, man. Our division is not good. All four teams in this division are under 500. We're now 2-0 in the division, and only a game back from the joint leading of the Atlanta Falcons and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So maybe this season really isn't over. You have to think about that now. We saw post-game scenes from the locker room, just how much this win meant to this team, especially Steve Wilks. He's clearly got them playing hard based on this performance. And it seems that the Panthers are not entertaining the idea of tanking at all. So whether this team can generate some momentum, it remains to be seen. But anyone expecting this group of players, I think, who being led by Wilks right now, to roll over the remainder of this 2022 season, I think you have another thing coming. There's no doubt about the effort that we saw on Sunday. This display of performance, especially against significant adversity, was very surprising to me. Now I want to talk about PJ's performance. Now we're going to go back to PJ's performance and kind of give I will say this about PJ. He looked way more confident than I saw him in against the Rams. In week 6 against the Rams, he had no confidence, especially in his own ability. Now offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo, I will give him credit there. Maybe that helped PJ, but he called his best game as a Panther. All right. He allowed PJ to be a little bit more creative and move the ball down the field quickly. And this is something Walker, PJ wants, and that's how he plays. He looked way more comfortable than he's been previously. And I do have to give McAdoo his credit for the way that he applied himself into this victory. And, now we're 2-5. Now, another thing is that PJ Walker looked very poised back there, especially after a lackluster of an offense. And we've looked since in this season so far. I think it was very shocking to me to see how efficient we were as a team in this game. And we just gave up 2 good playmakers. Whether if you think Robbie Anderson or is a good playmaker or not, I still think I do give Robbie his credit. I think he's an excellent playmaker. And then, of course, you gave your best asset away, in my opinion, Christian McCaffrey. But you have to do what you have to do in these times. So for our expectations, we're all at an all-time low, especially with the fact that we're starting PJ Walker under center. And nobody expected us to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this offense looked better than it has in some time. I will say that. I'd probably say since the Arizona or even that Washington Commanders game. And Walker had a significant part in that and providing a calmness back there. Um, the fact that Baker Mayfield has been atrocious, and then you're onto your third string, and of course Sam Darnold's out and still injured, and he comes in here and does what he did. You know, he had some real poise in my opinion, and it caught my eye. He caught my eye the most. He was rarely flustered in the pocket, and this offensive line providing a stable presence. Probably because Bradley Bozeman was actually at center this time instead of Pat Affline. And honestly, I hope that they don't put Pat Affline, even if Pat Affline comes off an injury, or when comes back from that injury. I hope that they don't put him back there again. Bozeman is way better. Bozeman is absolutely way better. But Walker finished this game with a 72.73% completion success rate. Again, he had 177 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, 126.5 passer rating. That was according to ESPN. At least that's what I'm seeing. And he was only sacked once for a loss of 7. So perhaps being underdogs actually helped the Panthers to relax and try different things. The defense provided some needed moments in this game, with Walker also having the benefit of a strong run game to lean on, thanks to Deontay Foreman and Chuba Hubbard. Having stability at the quarterback position, also assisted greatly, though. Something that earned Walker the game ball, which he should have. Guys, make sure you pound that like button. Feel free to get in the comic section, get in the comments. Chris 2030. What? I don't understand what's going on here. What are you saying? B-I-V-E-N blank I-I. Are you speaking English, bro? I'm not really sure what you're trying to type up here, Quish 2030. Phone must be messing up. Something's going on over there. Another thing that PJ Walker was another word I could say is clinical. We've been very terrible on third downs and on the red zone, as we all know. And, I thought, once we traded McCaffrey away, I thought that was just going to continue. Now, waving the white flag for this team was definitely not their mindset by any means. Obviously, restoring pride and back in this organization, after Matt Rule being a disaster of a head coach. PJ Walker coming out there and providing that right mentality to turn red zone trips into touchdowns, gave us a spark that we've been needing, but we've been looking for, and finally got our second win of the season. And just why offensive coordinator Ben McAdoo was so cautious with Walker in week 6 is still a guess in my opinion, but at least he finally adjusted the scheme enough to make the best out of a terrible situation, allow his quarterback to have some freedom and do what he does best. And I think this spoke a lot to resolve some things within the locker room. And all of us fans were looking already towards the 2023 NFL draft. We're already looking at Bryce Young. We're already looking at CJ Stroud. But for these players and for this team, losing is out of the question. And for Steve Wilkes' mind, he's not worried. He's wanting to win now too. Walker was absolutely ruthless in this game, and especially when it mattered most. And that's something that we've been looking for as fans and as this team from a quarterback. We've been craving that from a guy, man. But we've had no success so far in 2022 until he stepped into this game and played the way he did and the way Ben McAdoo changed things around in the scheme to fit PJ Walker, which is what should have been done a long time ago. Who's to say that maybe he shouldn't have done that for Baker? I'm just saying, something to think about. But he has earned, so I will say this, PJ Walker has earned that start, in my opinion, though, for week 8. I know Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold were both reportedly to be ready to play again after having some setbacks with some injuries. But I think if I'm Steve Wilkes, I'm riding that hot hand right now. I'm putting PJ under center, taking that trip to Atlanta. You got to keep the hot hand going, in my opinion. Now, this offseason, Walker didn't look good as these other guys, we'll be honest. In this offseason. I didn't even think he was going to be on this team. But I think for the fact that Matt Corral got injured, it was probably a blessing. Not saying that I'm happy that Matt Corral got injured, but it was probably a blessing for PJ Walker that he did. Because I don't know if PJ Walker is on this team if Matt Corral is still healthy. Now, PJ Walker might be a practice squad guy, but if Matt Corral didn't get injured, who's to say that he wasn't going to be the third string guy? I'll get to your questions here soon, guys. I promise. I see people in here. Chris, you're going to have to do something about your keyboard, bro, or something, because you are, I feel like you're trying to send me some Morse code shit over here. But you have to say he was definitely the forced choice behind Mayfield and Darnold and Matt Corral. But that foot injury to Matt Corral, obviously blessed. And I think that's the best way to put it. Blessed. PJ Walker a chance. Now, interim head coach was asked, Steve Wilkes was asked about the prospect of Mayfield or Darnold replacing Walker. But after his performance, I think it would be extremely difficult to demote the player after such a great performance, especially against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense, who they have a good defense. Say what you want about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They might be 3-4 and they don't look like the same old Buccaneers, but that defense is still damn good. They're still a legit defense. They still had a quality defense, even missing maybe some guys back in the secondary in this game. But still, it's still a quality defense. And we haven't had much to cheer about this season. All right. So therefore, I say move forward with Walker against another crucial division matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. Hope he can build off that momentum and continue that against Atlanta so we can become first or second in this division, depending on what happens. I don't see Tampa beating the Ravens. And if we beat Atlanta, then we'll be first in this division. Isn't that crazy? Just think about it. I know that because I'm taking my wins right now. I'm going to be happy. So whenever we win, I'm going to be happy. And I'm going to be still cheering and hoping that we win. Now, if we lose, we lose. Like literally, this is a win-win situation for us. We can win this division and make the playoffs. Somehow, some way, possibly. Or we lose. We still get a first-round pick and we get our guy in the draft. It's a win-win situation. In my opinion. Joseph Bell says, Pantherology, I've been saying he's our starting QB and always brag to him about my brother who is a Ravens fan / Lamar Jackson fan and said he has potential to be a good quarterback. Matt Travis says, I wouldn't put much stock in winning the NFC South. I think they can win a few more games. However, I believe it had more to do with Tom Brady's becoming the football version of Tiger Woods. People didn't even expect Tom Brady to be a starter in the NFL, and here he is now, 45 and won 7 Super Bowls. The division is wide open. We could definitely take it. PJ might win us out of a good pick this year. We're still gonna get that first. We're still gonna get a first round pick, bro. It ain't gonna make no difference. We still got a first round pick, and we're still gonna be able to get a decent quarterback in the first round. The O-line has been pretty good this year. Yes, they have. I've been saying it for a while. McCaffrey had turned into a handcuff for our offense. Could be possibly it. Keyboard was acting up. I can see that now. Chris 2030. Knicks forever. Should we extend Wilkes? I say we give it to the end of the year. Let's see what happens. Let's see how we perform. And yeah. And Scott, and I'm hoping that David Tepper lets Scott Fitter pick our next head coach instead of David Tepper trying to go out there and pick the guy, because we already saw what happened with that. Right? So I say we let Scott Fitter. He better let Scott Fitter pick his head coach. So I kind of want to go over a little bit more. I just don't understand how this offense had struggled all season long to move the ball and stay on the field and score points, rush for 173 yards, average 6.9 per yards per play, and get 343 total yards just 3 days after trading Christian McCaffrey. It still blows my mind to think about that. The guy that Ben McAdoo's offense apparently ran through, right? So to me, it just blows my mind, though. Which is one of the reasons, why I titled this Monday Evening Thoughts. Part of me thinks that moving Christian McCaffrey made Ben McAdoo to actually use his brain and get creative for how the way he called this game. It made him have to have more of a balanced approach rather than trying to do everything through one guy. And I think that's the reason why. Now, Deontay Foreman had a hell of a game with 2 explosive rushes, one for 60 and then another one for 27 yards. He finished on the day with 118 yards here. That's what I'm seeing. 118 yards on 15 carries, and he averaged about 7.9 yards per carry. This league is all about opportunities, and when you get yours, you better do whatever you damn well. You better put your life, like this is your last game. Like you need to be playing or coaching or scheming or strategizing like this is your last every game. Because, I mean, last year, Deontay Foreman, he filled in for Derrick Henry when he was injured. And the offense for them didn't skip a beat. He had over 100 yards 3 times. Once against Miami, at home against Miami, then at Pittsburgh and at New England. And those stretch of games, I think, showed the rest of the NFL and us Panther fans and this organization, the Carolina Panthers, and obviously, that he's more of capable of being a lead back. Maybe some of you might disagree with me, and maybe that's partially why the Panthers felt that now was a good time to maybe move on from McCaffrey. There's another thought there. Now, do I think Deontay Foreman is better than Christian McCaffrey? No, I'm not saying that whatsoever. He's a special player, one of the best offensive players in this league, but we all know how running backs last in the NFL. It's not very long. And then with all the injuries he has endured over the past 2 seasons, it has to make you think and wonder how much longer he will continue to play at that level, if he's even capable of doing it after all the injuries he's had. What was most impressive to me about this game, though, that I still think that we had no business of winning, because we were not favored at all in this game. And they were playing a already pissed off Tampa Bay team with Tom Brady, who has been struggling in the passing game, who only completed 1 pass beyond the line of scrimmage last week. The chaos that has surrounded this team, from Matt Rule getting fired to Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey getting traded to rumors of other players possibly getting traded, that could hinder a team's performance. Instead, they overcame and won this game. They blocked out all that bullshit. And now we're within 1 game out of the NFC South. Like I said, if you have learned anything, or if you're listening to me, and if anything that I've learned from this game on Sunday, is that this team is not going to back down through any adversity. Tanking is not in the question for a top draft pick. And I think, why would any team do that, though? I don't like tanking. I call it reconstruction. Right? Restructuring the program, organization, whatever you want to call it, schemes, whatever it takes. Because these players and coaches aren't guaranteed to be a part of this team or organization in the future. Not all of them. Now, I will say some of them, but not all of them. And this team is playing for their teammates, their coaches, and what they put on the tape will be seen by all 32 teams across the league. Now, the question is, can we actually turn this season around and try to get a playoff spot? I'm not going to put all my money on it. I've seen crazier things happen, though, before. I will say this, though. Steve Wilks has the respect and the trust, I think, of this team. And they're going to play hard for him every week, regardless who it is. Regardless of who it is. Make sure you pound that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Share this live stream if you haven't already. Now I'm going to answer that question. Should PJ Walker start on Sunday? Yes, he should start. I'm looking at the poll right now. Out of 16 people that voted, it says 94% yes, 6% no. I think you stick with the hot hand. I think you let PJ Walker do what he needs to do. I think you continue to go with the hot hand. And that's it. So, guys, I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to make this a short live tonight. It's been a long day for me. I had a long day of work today. I appreciate all of y'all. Before I hop off, though, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Feel free to come back and watch this live stream. It will be recorded, so you can always come back and watch any of the live streams that I post and come up on. But yeah, before I go, please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Click that post notifications bell so you don't miss out on any new raw content. You can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, or Twitter. And you can also go check the link down in the description. You can go check out betusa.com. That's who is sponsored today's live stream, betusa.com. 125% sign up bonus on your first deposit. Use promo code Pantherology. But yeah, I appreciate all y'all for coming in the live stream. Appreciate all y'all showing your support. Feel free to come back and watch this live stream. If you're just hopping in here, I am hopping off. It's been a long day. I had a long work day. So appreciate all y'all. And as always, guys, keep pounding.